As President Obama gets set to use executive action on immigration, Capitol Hill Republicans are asking him to wait, saying, hopefully, that there could be a compromise somewhere down the road. But we shall see what happens. Joining us to discuss this right now, Brad Blakeman, former deputy assistant to President George W. Bush, and Joe Listingi, a senior political strategist with the Chatterton Group. Welcome, gentlemen, both for being here today.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us.
Well, let's kick off with this as a prime-time address. We're expecting to hear exactly what the president's plan is. Republicans on Capitol Hill have said, hey, let's wait. Let's get together on this once things move along in the political cycle. But the president said this is essentially about keeping a promise. Is it about keeping a promise, and what is the strategy here as far as the White House is concerned? Brad?
Well, I don't think it's about keeping a promise because the president made a promise that was already broken in his first year as president, shortly after being sworn in as president in 2009. In his first address to the nation as president, he promised immigration reform his first year. He didn't do it, although he controlled all branches of government. So it took him 6 years to basically let the American people down by legislating, and now he feels compelled in a lame duck session of Congress to ram through, just like he did Obamacare, immigration reform. It's wrong. And I think the American people will come to reject it because he's not giving a fair opportunity for a new Congress. The American people were heard on February 4th to tackle this issue.
Joe, what do you think about that settlement? Do you think that the president should be waiting to hear from this new Congress?
Absolutely not. Brad made a great point. We've been waiting on this for 6 years. In fact, over the past 2 years, we've seen this legislation stalled in the Republican House. And we've never heard from Republicans a simple plan to fix our broken immigration system. So he, like most Americans in this country, have absolutely no faith that Congress is going to address this issue. So within his power as president, which has been backed up by Supreme Court cases and by prior precedents of other presidents, he's going to address this.
Now, when we talk about what's happening with immigration, I was just going to say we definitely want to bring you in, Brad, because there's such a wide divide between what the president's plan and what congressional Republicans would like to see. And there is a point to be made that not all Republicans have a straightforward path here as to what should be done with immigration. But will this action by the president widen that divide that already exists there on Capitol Hill?
It will, because this is ruling by extortion. And this is ruling by extraordinary authority that the president doesn't have as a matter of law. The president cannot tell Congress, I'm going to act unilaterally beyond my authority to force you to act. That's not the way our system works. The way our system works or should work is the president should lead. The president should advance legislation that the House and the Senate can take up and move to consensus and reconciliation of bills between the House and the Senate to bring a law that the president will sign. It's not the president acting beyond his authority. It's the president bringing everybody together. That's his job. That's using the bully pulpit and the power of the presidency. Let me say this as well. Republicans do have a plan. We don't believe in omnibus 3,000-page bills. We believe that the immigration bill should be carved up into 5 bills that deal with pathway to citizenship, taxes, visas, penalties. That's the way to carve out a comprehensive bill, is individual bills and not omnibus bills.
Joe, you know, Nancy Pelosi said something earlier today. She called the president's actions bold and courageous, but she also said we still want legislation. Given what's happening here tonight with the president's big speech that he's making and actions that are being taken and the way Republicans feel about this, is there a path towards legislation?
Absolutely. I think the president's move tonight is going to set the table that we've been waiting for so long. It's going to force Congress to act. This is sort of Newton's third law, right? For every action, there's going to be an opposite and equal reaction. So the president is setting out this halt on deportations so that Congress can finally get their act together and pass real legislative immigration reform. But I disagree that we don't need an omnibus huge bill, because we do. The whole system is broken and it needs fixing. So the president is using his authority to get this started. So I actually agree with Brad. He is leading on this. This is where the president needs to step up under his power, which is clearly outlined not only in the Constitution but by Supreme Court cases, that this is his purview, and he's going to do that, and then Congress is going to come along and fix the system. That's what we want, and that's what he's starting.
One of the caveats about this action is that eligible immigrants won't be eligible for certain benefits at the federal level, particularly health care, which in itself has been so controversial. Does that do anything to soften the blow here at all, Brad?
It does not, because the president cannot fix a broken system himself. The only way you can fix a broken system is by legislation and by act of law that's passed by both houses and signed by a president of the United States. So this is the component we're missing, is the president is not giving the benefit of the doubt, if you will, to Congress to work together. The president's saying, I'm going to act because I can't get you to act. That's ridiculous. He hasn't even given it a shot. The new Congress doesn't take effect until the 4th of January. Why wouldn't you allow the American people's will to be heard? The president was rebuked on November 4th. The Democrats were thrown out of control of the Senate. Republicans were given a bigger majority in the House. Doesn't the president realize this, using his own words, that elections do have consequences?
You know, is this the action the president's taking? What will the political ramifications be about that, Joe?
Yeah, I actually think this is good for us as Democrats. It's good for the president. I think this is finally, we're tired of playing the Lucy Charlie Brown game here with Congress holding the football and the president willing to compromise and come to them and then them pulling the rug out from underneath them right away. So I think the president is doing what he's wanted to do for a long time. He's standing up and he's saying enough is enough. If you're not going to act, I'm going to. We're going to get things done because that's what the people want out of Congress and the presidency and everybody in this city. They want things to get done and they haven't been getting done. I just need to go back, though. I mean, let's not forget, Congress has not acted on immigration reform since the 80s. So to say that if, we just wait 2 more years, we'll have something, I think that's a falsehood no one believes.
All right. Brad and Joe, thank you so much. This is a developing story. All eyes on this issue today. We appreciate you for joining us today. Check out the politics page. If anybody wants to know more about this particular issue, there will be a lot of coverage on this. I'm Molly Line, and thank you all for watching. Appreciate it.